Alright, so we looked at the area notes earlier. Now we're going to talk about decomposing and rearranging two-dimensional shapes. This is a parallelogram, they forgot the M, parallelogram, so if you want to add the M on there. Because it has two sets of parallel sides. This side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side right here. And that's how they'll mark parallel sides, so you know which ones are parallel. Now, this looks a little bit like a rectangle. Let's say we decided that we are going to cut this off, and we are going to move it right here. So see how they took this figure and they moved it over here. Now, the way you do this is that we count the units from one side to the other. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This actually should be moved over a bit, but that's okay. 9 units. Now, again, the height is from the base, perpendicular to the base, to the top. And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the height is 5 units. Notice how we can't really count full units on this, on the slants. That's why we don't use them, because we can't count the full units. So the area is still base times height. So when we go to plug it in, we're going to write area equals 9 times 5. So the area equals 45. Now, the original figure was this parallelogram. But once we move this shape over, we now have a rectangle. Let's count the squares and see what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units high. So it has this parallelogram and this rectangle have the same area. Okay, not sure what this is. Base and height is still 9 times 5, so the area is still 45. Okay, the area will be the same as the area of the rectangle. And we explain that because they both have the same same height and same base. Same base and same height. This one's pretty easy to get to see. Triangles aren't necessarily as easy. But last time we talked about how triangles are always half of a rectangle with the same dimensions. They can also always make rectangles. So if you want to cut them up and decompose them, which is what we call taking a shape apart and reconfiguring it. Let's look at this triangle over here. We're going to go ahead and count. I've got a straight line, so I can use that one because it is perpendicular. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My height is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My base is 8. So, if I were going to find the area, I would use 1/2 times the base times the height. So, my area is 1/2 times 8 times 6. Again, it doesn't matter the order we do this in. I think it's easier to multiply 3 by 8, so we're going to do 1/2 times 6 is 3, times 8 is 24. My area equals 24. Now, if we were to take this top part right here of our triangle, cut it off, and move it right here, so that this is my triangle, I now have taken the top of my triangle and added it to the bottom of my triangle, and I have a rectangle. Let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My base is 8. 1, 2, 3. My height is 3. So area equals base times height. Area equals 24. So the area will be the same. Because the rectangle is half the height of the triangle. Okay. So we can take that and cut it in half. We can also go, alright, I've got 6 times 8. If that were a square or a rectangle, my area would be 6 times 8, which is, I just totally drew a blank, 48. But I've got that. I've only got half of it. I'm only dealing with half of that, so I've got to cut it in half. Okay. And then the last part, trapezoids. Okay, guys, there are several ways you can do trapezoids. We could, so look at it, we could take this piece off, flip it over, and put it right here. Some of you are going to have a really hard time seeing that, and it's okay. But you could do that. If you can see what I was just talking about, great. If not, that's fine too. You could also take the top, cut it off, and make a parallelogram. Okay? Oh, I got you. So, in this one, my B1 and B2, we said the bases on a trapezoid are our parallel sides. So my base is, base 1, I'm going to call that the bottom because I'm just going to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have to call that the bottom, but I'm going to. The top one, the B2, then is 4 units. And the formula for the area of a trapezoid is area equals 1/2 B1 plus B2 times the height. So my area is 1/2 times 8 plus 4. And we haven't figured out the height yet, so let's do that. Remember, height has to go from the base to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. My height is also 4. I'm going to come up here. Area equals 1/2 of 12 times 4. Doesn't matter which one you do. I'm going to do area equals 12 times 2. I did 1/2 times 4. So my area is 24. That is for my trapezoid. If I cut the top off and turn it into a parallelogram, in order to find my base, I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my original. Plus, when I flipped it over, I added 1, 2, 3, 4 onto it. And guys, technically this should come all the way out here to this point, but I'm not sure how it got moved, but it did. Which gives me 12 units. Notice that we have the same number here. B1 plus B2, B1 plus B2. So for my parallelogram, my base is 12 units. My height here is 2 units, because it is perpendicular from the bases. 12 times 2, so I have 8 plus 4 times 2, which is area equals 24. Okay. And I am not sure what they were going for here, so we're just not even going to mess with that part. Alright. There are other ways to decompose shapes. We're going to practice decomposing. The way I'm doing it is not the only way to do it. I can cut this top part off and move it down here. I can cut this off and move it up here. There are several ways to do this. So let's do it the way that we didn't show it. I'm going to take this I'm going to color it in so it's not there anymore. And I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. And now I have a nice rectangle to work with. So if I'm finding the area, my base is 1, 2, 3. Area is base times height. My height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Area is 3 times 6. My area is 18, and y'all can see that. Okay. Now let's look at this one. So, they made this one not very nice, so I'm not going to do it that way. Ideally, that would come over. We're going to if we try to cut the top off of this, it won't work as well. Sorry. If we try to cut the top off and flip it over, it won't work as well because we have 5. That would mean we would have to cut one of these in half, which is a pain to deal with. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... It still doesn't work because of the placement. I would take this triangle and move it over here, which gives me a rectangle. I would cut that triangle off and flip it over here. That one we flipped there, which gives me a base of 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1, 2, 3, and I get this is kind of messy, but you won't see anything like that in terms of being in the middle. It'll be much clearer than that. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my area is base times height. Area is 7 times 3. My area of this is 35. And we should be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And that will give you the area. Okay, and that's all for this video.